Please welcome the Vice President of Programming for Imagine H2O, Tom Ferguson.
Freddie, what an amazing guy. Makes me feel like a bit of an idiot for being an art student all this time. Welcome, everyone, to the first ever WEFTalks. So just for fun, we thought we'd shake things up a bit this year. So innovating on the format. And as you'll hear, it's my job to be all about the innovation, so I'm very pleased indeed. What we wanted was a session that focused more on the people behind the processes and the profession. Because it's the people, all of you, who are this industry's future. People are the key to solving the challenges and embracing the opportunities we have ahead. And so the core question is, how do we get the most out of our people? How do we help them maximize the impact of their careers? In addition to my own story, we're going to hear from 3 other water professionals and understand the role mentorship has played in their considerable success. So when not giving speeches in front of a few thousand people, which happens all the time, obviously, I run programming at Imagine H2O, the Water Innovation Accelerator. And since 2011, we've partnered with WEF and WEFTec Research to bring the world's most promising startups to the WEFTec Innovation Pavilion and build programming and content to spark a conversation about the role of innovation in our industry. Innovation cannot happen in a vacuum. Bright ideas need helping hands. They need the oxygen of attention and support. We want you to talk about what's possible. And nowhere is that more true than in the development of your people and of yourself. We cannot overestimate the human component to innovation and problem solving, and all of us need guidance along the way. And simply, a mentor is just that, a guide, a brain to pick, an ear to listen, a push in the right direction. Someone whose hindsight can become your foresight. And with apologies to Tom Lehrer, mentorship is also like a sewer. What you get out of it depends on what you put into it. So why am I here? Well, mentorship is the cornerstone of the benefit we provide to startups, so we have a pretty good practical perspective. But the WEF team thought it might be fun for you to hear how a failed actor from Western Scotland came full circle to be once again standing up on a stage, just this time with a much bigger audience than I was used to. Like many of you, I'm here because people have helped me understand crucial things at crucial junctures. Acting is a bad profession. It's badly paid, work is scarce, everyone is pretending everything is great all the time, just like entrepreneurs in that sense, and you really have to wonder about people who literally need to be applauded after they do their job. But it's also something you fall in love with. You know, the teamwork, the pressure of creating something live. So leaving the acting profession was a wrench, a breakup. And my father, who has done his share of presentations in his time, said, "Thomas, I think you know this. I know you think this is the end of your time acting, but trust me, this is not the last time you're going to need what you've learned." He actually doesn't sound anything like that. But today, he was proven right. With every transition in our lives, even with the most extreme breaks, lessons we've learned apply to what comes later. And for me, that later was sustainability consulting. Bit of a left at the traffic lights, I know, but it was a childhood friend on Loch Fyne in Scotland who clarified for me the idea that we all have a finite amount of effort to give on this earth. And it's important to decide what we do with that effort and not to let that decision happen to us. And working on climate and sustainability issues seemed like a good place to focus. So when I joined environmental resources management, I was such a blank slate in terms of, actual skills, that when the Carbon Disclosure Project needed someone to co-author their first water report, I was the cheapest person in the building. And I wrestled with the data and the strategies of 150 of the world's largest companies for 3 months. And from then on, I became one of the go-to consultants for corporate water sustainability, allowing me to build my knowledge around the right and wrong ways the private sector manages our most critical resource. And after 4 years, it was a great time, and it was time to move on. And I really wanted advice from colleagues and bosses on where to go. Essentially, what I wanted to discuss was how I could stop working for them. And I was stunned by the openness and the clarity of their advice. I mean, maybe they were just aching to get rid of me, who knows. But the global head of our group said, If you want to be a part of management conversations, you have to speak the language, so go learn it. He even wrote my recommendation for business school, which was a tough sell given the environmental thespian background. Through his generosity, I ended up in a program that over the course of 20 months totally transformed the way I thought and where I met my wife. And I will forever be grateful for his role in getting me there. And after business school, Imagine H2O represented the opportunity to combine my consultancy and operating experience building out the accelerator. And after helping 80 companies through the accelerator program, we think there are fundamental elements to building a great company that hold regardless of your technology or target customer. And helping them effectively means unlocking these fundamentals. Mentorship is one of the most important keys we have. Entrepreneurs have too much to do, too little time, and efficiency is paramount. And mentorship helps them to be efficient. As Emerson said, genius is 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration, and the more you learn from those who have gone before you, the mistakes they've made, the battles they've won, the insights that they've gained, then the more focused and productive your own perspiration will be. Good mentorship also provides context. In 1975, when Steve Jobs was a nobody with a bright idea for a fruit company, he called the founder-CEO of Intel, Bob Noyce, and asked for advice. He'd done the same thing aged 12 with Bill Hewlett of Hewlett-Packard. Noyce became his mentor, this mid-50s guy with his 20-something firebrand. He harnessed and directed the talent, but he also provided context. Later, Jobs said, he tried to give me the lay of the land, to give me a perspective that I could only partially understand. You can't really understand what is going on now unless you understand what came before. Thirdly, it's about building the entrepreneur's capacity to make good decisions in terms of developing and confirming assumptions, strategy, company economics, hiring, focus. Having someone who has rare insight into the problem you are trying to solve is invaluable to improving the quality of your decision-making. Effective mentorship is a skill. For all of you who are in a position to help, and that means all of you, think about how to send the elevator of opportunity back down for the next generation of water professionals. Think about how to formalize mentorship within your institution so that you are making full use of the accumulated experience before it leaves to go fishing. As we'll see in the following 3 stories from Joan Rose from Michigan State University, who garnered an interesting regal wastewater nickname from her father, from Ifeitayo Venna of Arcadis, whose initial ambition around water was to sit on a beach next to it, and Carla Reed from Washington Suburban Sanitary Commission, who spoke truth to power until she became the power and now has to speak truth to herself, we'll see that mentorship impacts all of us. The people who choose to support us throughout our careers have an outsized impact on the outcomes, professionally and personally. Let's make sure that no lesson of our collective experience is lost. The safety and security of our water depends on it.